Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, guys. We have a guest today, and she brought greens.
Yes.
Micro, not just greens,
so
but
excited.
micro greens.
Which we're totally going to talk about. But first, coffee. So, we went to Daily Rise this morning. We freaking love them
so much.
We heart them so hard.
Yes.
So, and they write fun things on our cups, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes. So cute. They always tell me they love my Jeep whenever I'm in the drive-thru. They're like, oh my gosh, I love your Jeep. And then like when you're leaving, not just the barista that serves you says goodbye. They're all like, see you later.
Yeah, I love it.
So
It's so
cute.
fun, yeah.
It's so cute. I love it.
Uh-huh.
So I'll start, I think. So I'm drinking a sugar-free vanilla latte with oat milk because it is like the greatest thing ever. So
I love oat
Have it
milk.
in a cup.
So for me, I got the sugar-free caramel flavor Breve. If you don't know, Breve is half and half instead of milk.
And tell us who you are really fast so they're not just like, who's this chick?
Hi. Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Annie. I am with Urban Prairie Agriculture. That's the company I own. So Bethany just invited me here today to do a little fun chatty chat because we all know I can talk.
Yes.
I'm doing just your classic iced coffee with hazelnut and cocoa nut
Yeah, but
in
like,
it.
tell us how you order. Like, seriously, she texted me the order and I had to like read it because I was like, okay, so hazelnut and coconut, but half.
Yes.
So it's
yes.
not too sweet.
Right.
With light cream.
And extra ice.
And extra ice. Always extra ice. Yes, girl.
That's a
I
heck
have
of
to
an
have-
order,
I
guys.
have to have extra ice in
I
there.
know, it was like, I'm
I,
gonna read it word for word because I don't want to mess this up.
the Daily Rise in Layton, they pretty much all know my order because that's the one I frequent the most. So they just all know, like especially Vanessa, she always just knows what I want. But
Don't
it
you
is.
love how they just like get to know you and take care of you?
I
I
have
love
a
it when I
comment
roll
about
up
that.
and they just already know.
They do. It is a, so when I go, I say, I'll do a large iced coffee with hazelnut coconut, half the flavor, so it's not too sweet, extra ice and splash of cream. And they're like, okay, thanks.
That's a lot. I let her talk me into the sugar-free vanilla because I might be going to the Caribbean next month. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah,
So
let's
we're gonna
sugar-free
take
it
our
up.
calories
But
down.
oh my gosh, I can taste the difference, you guys. I miss my sugared vanilla.
Sugar free
Oh, it
makes
does
my
have a
restless
difference.
leg syndrome go nuts. So I can't do anything sugar free. It makes my legs like.
I actually wondered about that because I've been
Crazy.
getting headaches, and I think it's like the processing or like the whatever that thing is that they put in it
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
it sugar-free. The
Yeah.
sweeteners, the artificial sweeteners.
Yep.
So,
Diet soda can't do
I'm
it because
nervous
it like
about this, but
makes my legs feel like they're gonna freaking ninja kick somebody in the face.
That's crazy. Well, that's just how I am with too much coffee. In general.
I
Sugar-free
drink the
or
coffee all
not.
day
this
long.
is why we're so happy and chatty. We're like, coffee and things. Caffeinate and hydrate.
Yes.
All right. So, Annie, tell us about your business.
Yeah. What do we have?
Yeah, so I, a year and a half ago or so, decided I wanted to start a business that's centered around two things that I think would massively impact our community: health and wealth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So two things that are amazing is you can grow your health and while doing that create a side income by having a small indoor farm. And that sounds like way huge and crazy for people, but in a 30-foot by 30-foot space, I can grow around $8,000 a month worth of microgreens.
Wow.
And so if you wanted to take like 20 hours or so a week and create a side revenue, you could easily generate $1,200 a month doing that. And while you're talking about the money side, you also have to talk about what it's going to save you long run to be eating this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saving yourself, your health, which is invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's a huge deal. So microgreens are a super nutrient dense food. In fact, the most nutrient dense food. And on average, you can say they have up to 40 times the nutritional value of a mature plant. So in this cup, you're getting the same nutritional value as you would like a full family size salad.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how do people eat these?
That's what I was like. Do you saute them up with a little salt and pepper?
Tell us, tell us
the garlic.
Sure, they're best consumed fresh. There's sometimes you might toss them in for a quick flavoring.
Like, could you put it in like stir fry?
You can put it on top of stir fry. I would mix it in with your sauce. They kind of, they're like spinach or any other leafy green. When you fry them, they wilt.
Yeah.
And they are delicious crisp. Not only that, but what a lot of people don't realize is with your nutrients in your foods. Oh
I
yeah.
have my own bag.
Yeah, try it out, taste it. So this is a mix that I make, and it's a good starter mix. It's something that like is good for anyone. It's mild.
Ooh, it's sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of got a full range of flavors. Yeah,
The whole, even the leaf and the stem.
the stem, everything. So the ways that you would use it, that I use it the most, is one of my favorite for this particular
really good,
blend that you guys
It's got a
are
lot of
making.
flavor.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the most flavorful way you're going to consume veggies as well. So it's loaded with antioxidants, it's loaded with flavor. So let me tell you guys how to use it.
I could sit here and just eat this like
Yeah,
fish chips.
my kids do that. They love pea shoots. I just keep a little cup in the door of my fridge and they open it up and just like take a handful.
I like it.
Anyway,
It's really surprising. It doesn't have the bitter flavor of a lot of greens, like a lot of raw greens. Get
yeah,
that, like,
you know that after kind of musty
Yeah.
taste that like you'll get with broccoli or asparagus.
I just ate two, and each one had a totally different flavor.
Yeah.
So is this a mix?
It is a mix.
Okay.
Yep. So that's a ready-to-use mix, and that's a good entry-level mix. What I use this one for is basically everything. So I will put it on avocado toast in the morning.
Yummy.
Across the top of an omelet. These are breakfast uses I'm mentioning here, right?
Yeah.
You could put it on top of a breakfast burrito or wrap it in a breakfast burrito, and it's amazing.
Really good to start out your day
Yeah,
with like tons of
an
nutrition.
egg sandwich full of leafy greens. Now let's move on to lunch. You've got salad options. You put them on top of your sandwiches. You can even blend them in smoothies. Again, like I said, they're loaded with antioxidants and also a lot of amino acids that are considered essential amino acids, meaning your body won't produce them on their own. It has to come from an outside source.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and how do they keep? Like, how long do they keep?
Yeah, so I always harvest within 24 hours of putting them at my sales outlet.
Okay.
So whether it's at like Valley Market up in Eden or down here at the Artisan Collective in Bountiful at Basil and Rose, any of those places, I usually harvest same day when I shelf it.
Cool.
And so that gives you about 10 to 14 days you can keep these in your fridge. They last similarly to any other produce. It's a matter of how the grower processes the microgreens.
Yeah.
So if you don't process them well and you're not getting the excess dirt or debris off of it, or you are leaving too much water, they'll break down really quickly.
Okay. So would you do it the same way as your other leafy greens? Well, they're already washed, right?
They're
so
already
just put it in like maybe a damp paper towel and then put it in a bag and then put it in your humidifying shelf.
You actually don't have to do that. So that's part of why I use these cups. These cups have vents. Yep, they have vents, so they hold moisture in on purpose. Yeah, so they hold moisture in on purpose, but the shape allows the air to flow perfectly for the greens. So these actually, yeah, so these actually allow the plant to breathe but keep its moisture.
Cool. And so when you put these on a shelf somewhere, how long do the retailers have to sell them before?
Yeah, so I always go in there about 3 days before their best by date and put them on sale.
Oh, okay.
So my retailers don't worry about it.
Sweet.
I come up and do all the.
If our studio ever opens again, I want to put them in my little cooler because I know that our yogis would just love to grab them on the way out.
Oh yes,
So,
that would be
Not
amazing.
if, but when.
Yeah, a little lunch on the way out, perfect for that. Yeah, you guys, these cups are amazing because these salads, you can either buy single variety microgreens for me, which is like you could get a cabbage or a broccoli or whatever. But I love these salad cups, they're mixes, because literally you just take a packet of those 100-calorie Planters nut packets, toss it in there,
Oh, nice.
a little dressing, and you got your whole lunch, shake it up, and you're ready to go.
Love it.
So what are these? Because that doesn't look like that.
Yeah. So this is the whole tray of microgreens, and hopefully you guys can see those.
So this will look like that.
Yeah, so that's what I cut from. So this is microgreens, and you can see here, look, they're just
purple.
tons and tons of stems. Yeah, this is a cabbage microgreen. And you guys, the thing that's great about them is they're grown indoors with no pesticides, organically. The seeds are locally sourced. Growing medium is as locally sourced as possible.
Cool.
Sometimes that's a little tricky. And then I am the only person that they're exposed to.
Yeah.
So that reduces too your risk with contaminations and other things that you might be concerned about right now.
Very cool. So if I was like watching and I'm like, well, I want to grow these in my house.
Oh, or grow.
I mean, yes, get some, but also grow some. Let's explore all sides of the equation.
So you guys, periodically, if you follow me, Urban Prairie Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram, periodically I do, and even here at Heal Yoga Studios, I do classes to teach you how to get into this.
It looks
also
really cool. I want to
Yeah.
come to one so bad. I know they've
It's
been
so
here.
fun.
I
The
haven't
classes
been to it yet.
are great. So I teach you. I'm also willing to do one-on-one Zoom calls. I can mail you the supplies ahead of time if you
Cool.
want to learn how to grow. And then lastly,
Grow your own.
lastly on my website, which is urbanprairieag.com, we have grow your own kits with full instructions if you don't want to mess with me at all and you just want to do it.
I've done that and it totally works. And I got some.
Do you grow your own greens?
I had a little tray. And then I did wheatgrass, which I love
Ooh,
wheatgrass. Like
great.
it is, oh my gosh,
Do you
I love
just
it
shoot
so
it?
much.
Or you put it in, like, smoothie?
Yeah, so I would blend it and then strain out the juice and then just drink a little shot of it every day. Oh my gosh. If I
That's
could
the
do
way I
that
do it too.
every day for the rest of my life, I totally would. But I actually had a problem with some of my other plants. I had fungus gnats, and so they got into the wheatgrass. And
Oh no! Yep, so you gotta have
Done.
I'm really anal about I shouldn't say that. That's not a film appropriate word. I'm very conscientious about my growing environment for that very reason. I only produce related plants come in. I don't take grow mediums from outside sources. Like I don't just go grab a bag of soil from Lowe's. It's got to be I don't use any soil actually. These are all grown hydroponically.
Cool.
So
Wow.
I'm so picky about the way I grow things.
She's like examining it.
There's no soil. I verified it.
So anyway, yeah.
Fact check,
so I'm
fact
so
check.
picky
Yeah.
because exactly that. So
Yeah.
I don't let like pets inside my grow area.
Oh, yeah.
I don't let even really my kids in there.
Yeah. That's awesome. So how much space would somebody need to dedicate inside their house to have just enough for their family?
Yeah, if you wanted to grow just for your family, you could grow enough each week with about a 20-inch by probably 20-inch space.
Wow. Guys, that's tiny.
So can you?
Yeah.
I mean, can you like overdose on greens? Can you get too much and then it gives you a bellyache or whatever?
No, so the majority of the
Or do they just
nutrients.
break down real fast?
Yeah, the majority of the nutrients that you get from your leafy greens are going to be water-soluble nutrition. So
you
there's
need
different
to-
types. Like a vitamin E, for example, is not. It's a fat-soluble nutrient, so you can overdose.
Okay.
But
But nothing else.
But for example, like vitamin C, you know how you can take like 8,000 blah 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 units, and it just goes right through you, whatever your body doesn't need. Same.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like when you take your vitamin B pills and then your pee is like bright yellow.
Yeah. You actually will notice when you start eating. It's like when you get your multivitamin from your food, you'll see the same reaction in
That's
your
cool.
body. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So look forward to bright yellow pea. Feeling better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeling productive if you grow your own.
Yeah.
Or you can just stop anywhere and pick it up.
Lastly, there's a couple ways if you don't want to mess with growing them. I do sell them packaged, ready to use. Both at a few grocery stores around here. I mentioned them: Valley Market, Basil and Rose, and Bountiful. But I also have a CSA.
What's a CSA?
That is a subscription service where you get, it stands for Community Supported Agriculture. That means I rely on my community to make sure agriculture progresses forward in
Is
my
it
community.
like those the Bountiful
basket, exactly.
Yeah.
So I have drop drop locations where I drop off weekly subscriptions every Friday.
Cool.
And it's more than your $20 a week worth. I mean, you guys are getting so much stuff in there.
Very cool.
And it's year round because I grow indoors.
I love it.
Yeah.
She's like thought of everything, you guys. So amazing.
So let us know how we can get you guys eating well all year round. So right now I just service from North Ogden through the East Weber area. We do Ogden area all the way down to Bountiful.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to shift this a little bit, and we're going to talk about you as a business owner, being a woman in business.
Yes.
Any challenges you face there? Tell us about what it's like being a woman in business in this area. Or, really just anything that comes to mind. I know I kind of like threw that at you. I should have given you time to think about it.
Oh my gosh, no, I have so much to say about this. So it's perfect. It is perfect. Look, I'm excited about this topic. Okay, so first of all, in this community, you guys, thank you. In this community, that's all I have to say, just thank you.
Agreed.
I get a little choked up about that.
Agreed. 100%.
So that's all I have to say about the community.
Yes.
And
we have an amazing community
Ogden,
that's so supportive of small business.
They really do.
Amazing.
Citizens here really want to see their neighbor fly.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that. Okay. So that about my community has been amazing.
Good.
I mean, we have great support systems. The Downtown Alliance, Ogden Farmers Market Ogden for farmers, and then the farmers here in Ogden are friends. Like we're working. We want everyone in Ogden to have access, and we get together and talk about it. How do we do it?
Can I tell a story really fast? I know you're probably you know what I'm going to say, but so my grandma passed away recently, and so we actually wanted to get together as a family and make lays because my grandma lived in Hawaii, and it was her favorite place she ever lived. She absolutely loved the aloha, everything. So we decided we were not only going to make lays to wear at her funeral, we were going to make the spray for her casket, which none of us had ever done. But
an adventure is always good.
Yes, but my grandpa used to make funeral sprays, and so we thought it would be really special to do something like that to honor him as well as her. So anyway, we go to the farmer's market because we're like, we need a ton of flowers. And let's just go see what's at the farmer's market. And so there were 3 different flower vendors, and that was one thing that I noticed, talking to everybody, they were like, oh, well, this is what I have, but go talk to Annie and see what she's got, and they just really, everybody was so amazing about coming together, and Annie was like, I'm gonna go out and pick a bunch of stuff for you, and she made it so special.
I did make a little special order.
You did. Albino amaranth is the thing, you guys, and it's
I have your seed saved.
Yay!
So that just gives you such a greater probability of getting more of them.
Yay. That's awesome.
You might still get colored ones too.
Cool. I really thought the colored ones were pretty, and my mom loved them. She was like, what is this? I've never seen this. And it was really cool because, I'll keep it short, but my grandma had a rare genetic disorder, which is now treatable, but back then it wasn't. And it's carried on the woman's chromosome. So if you have a boy, they actually experience the symptoms. So she had 2 boys that were essentially born without immune systems, and they passed away really young. And so the albino amaranth was kind of in honor of their rare genetic disorder, and her being reunited with those boys after, I think 80 years. So 70, 80 years.
You give a big show.
So it was really special. But yeah, I love Annie. Annie goes above and beyond, you guys, so super excited. So tell us.
I'll tell you guys about how it is to be a female in business.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are industries where you expect or predict females will work, and maybe even be business owners.
Yeah.
You might expect a female owner of a hair salon, a yoga studio, a spa, right? Agriculture.
Stereotype.
That was I'm not putting you on this. No, I'm not doing that. But okay, so you get the point.
It's cool.
People aren't surprised though when it's you who's the owner, right?
Oh, they are.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
See, so I get that all the time in agriculture, especially at the farmer's market. They're like, well, where's the farmer? And I'm like, right here.
Like the yoga studio, not so much. But the fact that I have a storefront on Wall Avenue, that I run a skincare business. Even in that, people still expect there to be
a man
behind it.
And I have a man who's my silent partner,
but you run the business. You work in the business, and on the business.
Right. And he'll tell you that too. He's like, yeah, I help make big decisions and that's it. But like they wait for you. And anyway, I've already told you my story about, I got looked over. This guy comes walking up. I'm standing right outside with my friend and her husband, who's Mexican. And I say this for a reason. The guy, the white man, starts speaking Spanish to the Mexican standing in the doorway, asking if he can buy a drink. And he's like, I don't know, I don't own this place. And he's like, well then who does? And I'm like, first of all, don't assume he speaks Spanish just because his skin is brown. Like, and then he assumed he was the owner because he's a dude.
Yeah, so frustrating.
I'm sorry, I keep hijacking your story. I'm going to shut up now.
No, it's the same. So I have a really similar experience. Sometimes to farmers markets or other events, I'll bring people to help. And when I say help, I mean muscle. So I'm usually bringing a guy, a volunteer I've gathered from my community to come help me. And I can assure you that there has not been one single time that I've brought a guy to help where I haven't had people approach that person as the business owner and me as the helper.
Yeah.
So that's a little disheartening. It's hard to kind of fight that stereotype too, especially in agriculture, because in the stereotypical agriculture world, mama stays home and raises those babies while daddy goes out to the farm and feeds the animals and plows the rows, and you know what I mean? So I'm even less in their mind involved than any random man standing nearby would be.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But we run this.
And it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I get it though, because that is the mindset. And we can't, and like, I've really thought this through, and like, I can't necessarily fault people for assuming that, because it's systemic. Like, that's what is in, that's what they've taught, that's what they've observed, it's what's in their brains.
Experience-based. There's actually a psychological phenomenon called, it's not phenomenon, but it's actual psychological process called heuristics, okay? And that's basically like your brain shortcuts. When you see somebody, your neighbor per se, leaving the house in a striped black and white shirt with a whistle and a clipboard, your assumption is they're going somewhere to ref a game. You don't go and assume that they're hopping in their diesel truck to go drive across the country and drop a load of products, right?
Yeah.
And so these are shortcuts that are experience-based that allows us to be quick. I mean, we're lucky as humans to be quick, but the key is to be aware.
Yeah.
To be aware that your mind does that and be able to use it as a tool rather than create boxes that people don't fit in with.
Yeah, I love that. That's so
These hips don't fit in a box.
We don't fit in a box.
Very, very well put, Annie. Thank you for that. Yeah, because I mean, we talk about that a lot on this podcast, vlog, whatever we want to call it, but I don't ever want it to come across that we're just like badgering the opposite sex or even other business owners. It's just, this is what we're observing. And we want to talk about it so that we can create more awareness that it's happening.
And also create, for me, I think it's important to create an open conversation about this. I'm not mad ever when somebody makes that assumption because I know where it comes from. How many women farm owners do
I get mad.
I know I'm a minority, and so all I have to do then is accept where they're coming from and help them see that the world might be a little different than they know.
Yeah. You're better than me. I get mad. How dare you?
Last summer it was a little bit of a point of pride where I had to make my claim.
That's just it. If you didn't put your heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into the business, then it's, whatever. But it's my money. It's my time. It's my idea.
It's your baby.
My success, my livelihood. It's like when I wake up at 2 a.m. and I can't sleep because I've got an idea in my mind churning that I need to get out.
It's so my last sleep.
By 3 a.m. I'm on my laptop working, and I maybe if I'm lucky, I'll catch a 6 a.m. nap.
Right now. Yeah.
And when you're doing those things, and somebody
tries to take it from you,
knocks you down, it is painful. I agree because
it is.
because they aren't experiencing what they've taken from you.
Right,
By
exactly.
bringing you down. They aren't experiencing
Yeah.
that you were up at 2 a.m. And that you've harvested for 12 hours the day before and are standing here pretty and cute in front of them, loving the crap out of them.
And then you have to do admin stuff on top of all of the work.
There's
you know,
so much
it's
that
just
goes into it.
yeah, there's a lot, and I think that they tend to downplay it too. I've seen that happen where, oh, you're the owner, okay, and then like if it's a dude, they're like, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. How do you do all that? Like
Yeah.
I could never do that. I want to be like you. But if it's a woman, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Or I love that.
Oh.
I love that. Oh, this is your company?
Yeah, definitely gotten that. The surprise, shock, and awe.
Where they can't contain stumbling over their words. I love that. But you know what? You just touched on something really fast I'm going to talk to you about. How surprised and excited guys are. You guys, I'm single. And dating as a small business owner, let me tell you, the circus. I'm like, no, thanks. I don't need a husband to run my business. Thank you.
Oh goodness, for real.
You guys, it's oh no.
My husband is 100% a unicorn, you guys, and he knows it. He's like, I am probably, he's like, I know I am like 1 in a million because he empowers me all the time. And like, he, honestly, when I first started, I was like, I don't know if I should do this. Like, I don't know. I don't think anybody will support it. I don't know. You know, and I was just kind of on the fence. And he's like, get off the fence already. You can do this. People will buy this. It's an amazing idea. And you've worked hard, so you should do it.
Yeah.
And he's always been that cheerleader. That is not every guy. That is like very few men. And he is totally willing to take a step back, and he does all the time, and push me forward and be like, it's her. It's not me. It's her. You know? So I think like that's very rare.
I love that.
It is.
I love that.
It is.
Yeah, and
It's hard to find a man who's strong enough to stand next to a strong woman.
Yes.
well,
I had to go through a practice marriage to figure that out.
and
So
it honestly is too.
Me too.
What you were talking about is like the always
Not
supporting and pushing you forward. What's behind that is what they're willing to carry for you.
right.
What's behind that is that they know they're the stable income. Because being a small business owner is like 1 month, I'm like, woo, I got 6 months worth of bills here. And then the next 4 months, I'm like, whoa.
Right.
Dude,
Right.
you have to
You
be
know?
able to budget like a champ.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for them to say, I want to support you and I want to push you forward and I want all of your dreams and also don't worry,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. That is 100%. Like what? That's the conversation we had when I quit my full-time job.
Where are you?
100%. 100%. He was like, we're gonna make some life changes that we both agreed to, and then he was like,
Let's do
hey,
it.
I can fully support the personal finances now if you want to run with this. And I was just like, I can't do it because I have to pay my own way because my practice marriage made me feel really inadequate as a human being, and so I have to do this. And he was like, dude, just do it.
Accepting
I got you.
help. Oh my gosh, I know that's the other part of strong women. You guys, strong women are like, I got this. And then they're like, kind of, I don't.
Right. Yeah. There is a list hanging on the wall in my husband's office of a list he made. And you guys, this is how hippie he is. He used a red marker to correlate with the root chakra.
Okay.
So that I would be feeling stable and confident in these things. And he listed out all of the things I know how to do because of running a business. And it is like an entire poster board full. And every time I'm like, I can't do it, whatever. He's like, look, go to the wall.
I love it. See?
Oh,
See, it's
Taylor.
So I don't feel like guys understand what they're biting off to say like, oh, I want to be part of this small business world.
Right.
Yeah. When you're supporting a female who's running a business, like it's still the female's show, and you're just like, it's hard to find a guy who's really fine being the shadow.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. It's very, very difficult. And I mean, you don't necessarily need them to be the shadow. Like, you want them to have the recognition and whatever for what they put into it. But at the end of the day, they need to be able to take a step back and say, this is not mine.
Yeah.
I'm just helping. Like, or I went into this as a partner. I'm not going to take all of the credit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yes. Oh my gosh. There's a certain point where, like, for you, you have to acknowledge, like, hey, I would not be here without my partner. And there was a point where I had to say, like, a part of my business was designed from me not being able to do everything myself, and essentially what I did was start training other farmers to pick up some of my weight because I don't have that partnership, right? So I had to go out and farm my partner.
Farmersonly.com. There you go. Boom, problem solved.
I bet it exists.
It does. It totally does. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I think that that's a really good thing to touch on too, because we do sit here a lot and we're like, I do this and I do that and I have to do this, and at the end of the day it's up to me, and all of that is true. But I think the sign of a strong woman in business, and I've met this with other women business owners, is a lot of times, like, we get caught up in this, like, it's almost like its own little stereotype of a woman business owner. We have to do everything ourselves, otherwise we're not successful. It's like we have to prove that we can do it.
But I think that's kind of the voice that we grew up into. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In order to be successful, we had to like grow up into this space where we're working twice as hard as the guys. We are achieving twice as more. We are carrying a bigger load. We are walking uphill both ways, barefoot, blah, blah, blah. And like, if we're not doing that,
then we're a failure.
our own mindset is that we are not competing up to par level with our male competitors. Right?
And if you look at any of the movies where it's a woman owner or a woman boss, she's always like bitchy and crabby and mean and I'm like, it's just not. I mean, I'm sure it's realistic in for some people, but
we've
for
all
the
had
most
those
part,
moments.
you know.
But trained
it's
perceptions.
not that way.
It's
We
like
can be nice and still run a business. And we can be good humans and still love our lives.
We work hard to play hard.
We do not have to drop
Cut and dry.
who we are to fit into this box again of
I don't
what
have to
a
be
woman in
mean.
business is.
Sometimes I'm mean, but I don't have to always be mean.
Right, and I feel like that's been my biggest challenge, is learning how to be mean and how to like stand my ground, because people will try to walk all over you.
You give them an inch and they'll take a mile.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
100%.
It's hard to find that where we don't find ourselves like, there's this paranoid back of my mind voice where I'm like, I'm gonna do everything, I'm gonna be successful, I'm gonna da. But I'm also gonna do it so that everyone loves me.
Yep, it's so true.
Hi, that doesn't work, guys.
I will be loved.
That doesn't work. So,
It doesn't.
you know
There's-
what?
there's balance.
There are
There's
some
definitely
like
that balance.
hard choices you have to make when you're in business, and I think that that's internally. Nobody told us as women in business that we have to do everything. Nobody told us this, but we grew up into that voice.
Yeah.
And then here we are, also with all these paranoid stereotypes that we're trying to avoid being, of angry, aggressive, biting off too much, stepping on people's toes, you know. So now we're trying to avoid all that and not need anybody either.
Right, and also don't react emotionally when somebody comes at your business.
Because you're just being emotional, an emotional female.
That's a big one for me. If somebody comes at my business, I am like mama bear, like, how dare you? And this is when I'm glad I have Taylor, because sometimes I can be like, you are not gonna believe what just happened, and he's like, oh my gosh, calm down, it's not that big of a deal. And then he'll be like, it's almost gotten to the point, like, but I'm a fiery personality, and I'm like very much like reactive in that way.
Passionate.
I have learned to let myself calm the F down before I reply to an email. And sometimes it's so nice for me to be like, Tay, I need you to handle this, because he's so diplomatic and he's so good, and I'm like, just reply to this for me, will you?
Here.
Yeah.
Be nicer than me, okay?
Yes. But anyway, so we've gone like really long today, but we've been talking about really good stuff. So hopefully you guys have stuck around to get here. We already covered sexism of the week.
Yeah.
It's like sexism of the business, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let's wrap things up. Annie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
Yes.
having me.
So
Thanks
excited.
for the treat.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, don't forget to caffeinate.
And hydrate.
We'll see you next time.
See you.